Welcome, a very warm welcome to you. Welcome to the November 23 challenge. And this one's slightly different. So I'm not going to use a specific data visual. What I'm going to try and do is write something and develop something in DAX. Now I don't know how to write DAX. DAX is a really nice method by which you can create tables, data, formulas, etc. So given that I don't know how to write it, this challenge really is using ChatGPT as my DAX training buddy. So, without further ado, let's get started. So the idea here is quite simple. I've taken something from an A-level biology lab experiment, which is looking at what determines the water potential of potato tubers. In other words, how much are they can they absorb? And I've got from the lab a set of concentrations, and I've got the mass before and the mass afterwards. If you imagine, we put the potato in the test tube, we add the concentration liquid in those concentrations with acidic concentrations, and then we get rid of the liquid and we weigh the potato afterwards, and we see what happens. So I've got that information, and what I need to do is plot that, but I need to plot the percentage change in the mass. So as I go from 0.0 to 0.2, as you go from 2 to 4, each of those, for those zeros, I want to know what's the difference pre and post as a percentage, so the percentage change. Now I could do this in Excel. I could take that really simple data set, put it into Excel, calculate the percentage change there using the formulas. But here, instead, I'm going to use DAX. And the way it works is as follows. Let me just show you what we've got. So we produced this line, we plotted this blue line, which is the percentage change in the mass calculated from these two columns in the result tab. So let me show you a little bit more what's going on with the data. So if I just look now at the data table, and I look in my particular challenge for this week, I can see I've got the concentration, I've got the mass before and the mass before and the mass after, and I've created something called percentage change in mass. So if I now go to the tables page, what are you talking about, Andy? There we go, the concentrations. So these first three columns are which is what I calculated from the lab, and then this column is created as the percentage change between 3.19 and 3.88, or the percentage change from 3.27 to 2.92. And how do I calculate this? I calculate this with this formula here. That's how I calculate it. It divides the difference, which is then divided through, etc. So this is the formula that I calculated, and it's written in a style called DAX. So my challenge is, how do I quickly create these formulas not knowing anything about DAX? And this is where I'm going to show you how I generated this in two really simple prompts using ChatGPT. So welcome to ChatGPT. If you've not used generative AI or ChatGPT or Bard or something like that, you really should. It's absolutely incredible. So here I'm using the free version. So I'm on 3.5. You don't need to purchase this, you just need to sign up. And I put a prompt in, and the prompt I've put in is to set the conditions, the narrative I'm going to have. So I've told ChatGPT that it is an experienced author of DAX. I've told ChatGPT that I'm just learning it and I have very, very little knowledge. Yeah, I've told it I would like it to help me write the required DAX to use in my PowerBI desktop, but it also needs to explain what the formula is doing in a way that has, for those who have very little experience, can understand it and can learn from it. So clarify, are you ready for the request? And then of course it's ChatGPT, so it says absolutely, I understand your request and I'm ready to help. So I then ask the following. I say, I have a table. Table's called that, challenge-ChatGPT DAX. And as you would have remembered from when we looked in Power BI, that was the column that I used. And in that table, that was the table that I used. And in that table, I've got a column called the mass before, and I have another column called the mass afterwards. So I'd like you to write the DAX formula, which creates a new column called the percentage change in mass, brackets percent, and that calculates the percentage change from the original value, and I've again stated what that's called, to the end value, stating what that's called. And then off ChatGPT goes, and it calculates a formula that it suggests I could use, using clearly the percentage. And then if I look at this is the breakdown of what it does. So it says this is going to create a new column, and it's told me how to do that. Yeah, you're going to go to this, you're going to go and create the new column, and then you're going to use the following DAX formula. It's told me a little bit about it to make sure. The only thing that I probably as a Excel user that would surprise me is what's this 0? And that, when I have a quick look at that, I can see the zeros in place to ensure that we don't divide by 0 and cause us lots and lots of problems and errors. So that's how it functions. I'd simply need to click on the copy the code, and then I can cut and paste that into Power BI. And the cut and paste would be simple as go into the new column, write a DAX expression. So I happen to be in the tables view here. I can do it also from the report view. Go to the tables column, click in there, new column, and then I would simply paste my formula in and click return.